Okay, hello and welcome. I am here with the amazing Tracy, one of my wonderful clients who has been so kind to join me to just chat a little bit about her experience working with me for the past, well, a little over a year now, right? So anyway, Tracy, if you could introduce yourself first before we kind of dig in.
Okay. I'm Tracy Ingram. I am I guess I'm calling myself a high impact money coach right now. Maybe a wealth coach. We'll see.
I like that. High
Yeah.
impact money coach. So tell us a little bit more about you. Let's start. So tell me just like a little bit more about you. Like what does that mean? What do you do? Um, and then maybe kind of paint the picture of the background of where were you when we met? And then we'll kind of take the conversation from there.
Okay. I help high earning women become high net worth women. So many women make money but aren't necessarily holding it or investing it. And there's a lot of I think discomfort in that area, a lot of not understanding. And I have been able to do that in my own life, even though I'm not a high income earner. So that's been my focus right now. Where was I when I came to you? So it has been, first of all, let me just say that I'm 54, so I'm older than a lot of new entrepreneurs. I have no entrepreneurial background. I have no family members. My family members are all state employees. So this is like a whole new world for me. So I've done a lot of personal growth work, even before I met you, Lori. But when I met you, if you recall, like I had just gone through a big level up. I was super excited. I had just done like a 6 month super intensive thing with another coach about some childhood trauma stuff. Um, and I was so excited because I was like, I'm ready to go. And I had no idea because like there's this whole other multiple levels that I've gone through since I've been working with you. But it's been
Oh,
amazing.
yeah. Okay. So, well, thank you, first of all. And yes, I am definitely one to peel back the layers. So you think you've got it all, and then you come into my world, and there's more levels. There is because as we grow, I think there's so much more in it before I hit the record button, as I was just telling you. I'm the reason that I do these conversations is because I'm going through like that next level too. And I thought I had everything figured out. And then it's like, wait, no, you didn't. So sometimes we just need that clarity, I think. So what was going on? So you just finished this thing, you were excited, but like tell me the background, where you were, like what was happening, what would just tell me the details. Give me the meat.
Yeah, so I don't know how far back you want me to go, but I had decided to become an entrepreneur because I've always worked for small companies, which I've loved, but I've helped those people, and they were already very comfortable. They were all second generation businessmen. So I learned a lot from them, being able to work, alongside them. But I also realized that I wasn't nearly as valued as I thought that I should be. I wasn't treated like a valued person. I wasn't compensated like a really valued person. I was often one of the lowest paid people in the company. And I just decided I was more or less done with that. And I wanted to be able to travel. And so I was going to have to build a remote business online. And initially it was going to be bookkeeping. And I was very naive when I started doing the bookkeeping. I had no idea how hard it was going to be to get clientele. And once I became aware of that, I realized that was too darn much work to do for bookkeeping clients.
Yeah,
That if I
I
was
can
going to put up
imagine.
that much energy, it was going to be on something that I really, really was excited about, and bookkeeping wasn't it.
Yeah.
And so I just looked at my background and my experience and what made me really excited, what I love talking to women about, and what makes me really like sort of show up and glow and be really excited and passionate about. And it is money, oddly enough. And so yeah, but I knew when I started working with you, like I thought like I had hit this new level. But I mean honestly,
You
I've
have.
been doing this life thing quite some time. I know that you're never really where you think you are, that there's always more to go through. And I knew like I had to show up and be in a more a next level group, a next level coach, No more of those, the baby coaches where we all started out. And then yeah, so I wanted to be with somebody who was an intuitive person and is an intuitive coach, and that would push me and hold me accountable a little bit when I get a little squirmy about showing up on some of my some of my assignments. Gently, of course, but persistently.
Okay, so we can talk about that if you want. So yeah, what were some of the things maybe that, well, even that you didn't know when you first started, but some of those things where you found that you did need that support, where has that impact really been for you in the time that we've been together?
Yeah, so I've always been a personal growth junkie, but I've never really pushed myself. I've always sort of wandered through personal growth. Um, but I realized at some point, like I could get through it much faster if I applied myself and was a little bolder, and that was what was holding me back. And so, but I also knew that was sort of uncharted waters for me, and I didn't really have people in my life that had gone before me that I knew, intimately or whatever. And so I
Mhm.
just thought, if that's you gotta find that person, right? And so, Jamie Cole Cerna recommended us, or recommended you to me. Um, and she said, because I actually had said to her, I don't feel like I feel like I'm ready for the next level, but I'm not sure what my next step is, and I'm just curious what's going on with you. And she was like, this is who I'm working with. It's amazing. This is what she's great at. And I just knew that I needed somebody to guide me through and push me a little bit. When I was a teenager, I worked with horses, and there are times when you get like you're so excited and you really want to do it, but you do get scared, and you don't always have that belief in yourself, and you need that person that says, "You can do this. I'm going to show you how. I'm going to be here by your side while you do it." And you will get through it, but let's go. And so then when you're kind of like, oh, then it's like, okay, that person believes in me, so there must be a reason to believe in me. Let's go. Do you know what I mean? It's like you borrow their belief for just a minute until you can
Yeah.
remember your own belief.
Yeah, yeah, I like that. And that's true. I think, I had this conversation with one of my own, mentors, not that long ago, like in the last month probably too, about we always need an us, right? We always need someone that what we do for other people as coaches, especially, I think, but we always think that we need to be perfect, I think, and I've found that that was one of the most needed things for me too. So it's no accident. I don't think that you probably ended up in my world. And I know for me, and I don't know, I know you've worked with some other coaches, but for me, I found that that was sometimes hard to find in other places, because that's a lot, I think, of coaching containers aren't set up to support that type of growth. So I would love for you to just tell me more, if you can, about like what your experience has been like with me, like in detail with that growth.
Um, so the I think that, the format is that we do the video calls usually weekly. There's usually
Hmm.
one week a month that we skip, right? But then we have the Voxer support, and I'm not great at Voxer. I'm not great at showing up for Voxer. You've been gently encouraging all of us to show up more, and that has been that is the thing that I am more committed to showing up in. But when we show up on our coaching calls, we have the time, like each person gets their time to spend with you. And like you dig deeper, you're very intuitive how you recognize or you ask questions to get a better feel for what's going on. And sort of unmask the truths that we're hiding from ourselves, right?
Hmm.
Because a lot of times we sort of have an inkling, but we're either not aren't aware, or we're not comfortable with it, and so we're hiding from it a little bit. And then you just sort of help us see it. and whether it's something we weren't aware of or something we're hiding from, you sort of guide us through that. And if it's a fear thing, like I said, that you reflect back to us your belief to you gently. I mean, it's subtle, right? But through the words that you use, it's apparent that because you need it to be subtle. Like, I don't need you to be my cheerleader. I just need
Right.
to know that you believe and you're guiding me through, and that you see the other side of this. And now I'm like, okay, I can borrow your vision or your belief in it, and just move through it even when I'm afraid. And then if it's something that I'm high, like I'm um I just am not aware, like you are able to give a metaphor or a glimpse from your own experience that is opens that vision, or sort of the blindness. Like, I'm not great. I have a lot of masculine energy. I'm not great with feminine energy. And so you're able to give me your experience in that. And then when you do that, then I can see in my past where I have had similar experiences, and then I can borrow from my similar experiences and integrate that further. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I was going to ask if there was any specific examples. So that is definitely one. And again, no accident if you have that heavy masculine energy. Probably that you ended up in my world, because that is me. And it's just about finding the balance. And that's what it's been. And it's been a bit of a journey. For sure. It's something that I don't think is really talked a lot about, because I even remember talking about it with my own husband. And the idea of like masculine and feminine energy, he was just like, that's anti-feminism. Like, what are you talking about? Like, he's thinking 50s housewives, but it really is, there is that balance that we need to have and bring into our business. And I think that is key. So I'm glad you mentioned that. So yeah. I wouldn't have considered myself a masculine woman necessarily in the past. I don't know about you, but yeah, that has been a big part of the journey. Um, so let's talk about that one a little bit more. Is that work that you had done at all previously, like masculine, feminine?
Um, no, definitely not. I know that, like, because I worked for a car dealership, and I was told there a lot, especially from the general managers, that I had a lot of masculine energy, and that I could be, um, they didn't use the word, I could be confrontational. Men in sales positions that have mostly been in sales positions don't expect women to stand toe to toe with them. Not in the car business anyway. And I did, because I wasn't there working for them. I was there working for the owner with them. And they didn't always like that. So I had been told that repeatedly, and obviously they presented it in a negative manner, like I should be ashamed of myself, or I should behave differently. And that wasn't my experience, and it wasn't my truth. And so I wasn't willing to back down from that, because I really did feel like I was there defending the owner, because I wasn't on the same location as him. And so I felt like I was his ambassador, there to protect his money from these people who sometimes were on their own journey of covering their own asses.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I wasn't willing to embrace my feminine energy or allow it, because I felt like that almost was my calling card in that position.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt really threatening, because it's not something that's been, my mom had depression growing up, and so I haven't had a lot of modeling from women of what strong feminine energy can look like.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know really what that looked like. And the strong women that I was drawn to were women with masculine energy, like, people in the press or whatever, or,
Yeah.
the public life. And so, but I knew that if I was going to work with women, I had to be more open to that. And I
Mm-hmm.
had to learn how to be comfortable with it, and both in myself and obviously with clients. And I knew I was going to have to learn how to do that. And So I guess I have leaned into that pretty heavy. That's probably been a big area of growth for me personally, is not just the vulnerability, but just also like how to be comfortable in feminine energy, how to receive. And that's, I think, my next step that
Yeah.
we're going to dig deeper into, is to take that to a
Yeah.
deeper level.
Yeah,
But
especially when you're a money person,
yeah.
that I think is going to be huge. Um, which I guess on that note, do you feel like the work that we've done together has impacted outside of just like you personally? Do you think it's impacted your work in any way?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I'm much more, because I have a 9 to 5, and I'm much more settled and grounded there. I don't
Mhm.
get as caught up in the stories there. Either I don't create my own stories anymore. I let people be people. I let them bring their own stories to the table, and um, so I feel like that has made me much more settled. It's also allowed me to manage my own energy better, because I don't get caught up in those stories, so I don't expend energy in that area, so I still have energy for my business, even on the days that I work. Not always, but many
Mhm.
days. um and then I'm much more aware when I do have energy and when I don't. And more importantly, you definitely taught me this, not to push it. Like, if I don't have the energy, that's okay. Like, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll have more energy then. Or but to respect myself, respect my boundaries, respect my own energy, and honor that.
Yeah. I think that's a huge part of our next level of leadership. So I'm glad that you've taken that. So if you were having a conversation with someone, I'm just curious, and you were telling them about, your experience, and whether or not they should work with me, what would you tell
I would say absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
them?
yeah. And then I guess I would just ask them, like, what's their concern? What's their focus? What are they like? What's their path? What's their next step? And then I guess, probably address whatever their concern is. But I mean, yeah, because you are an intuitive person, you bring that intuitive energy to it, and you are very adaptive in how you coach. So, like, I can't imagine anybody who's in this experience that you wouldn't be able to coach through it, as long as they were open to it, of course. But
Yeah, which as coaches, I think we all know is a big part of the journey. Well, we don't all know, but we eventually learn that yes, when they're open to it, it makes it
yeah.
a lot easier to coach. So, um, awesome. Anything else like from your experience, that you would just say like the biggest takeaways, I guess, for you? What is from your experience working with me, what have been the biggest takeaways? Like what's changed in your life even?
I mean, even my relationship with my husband is more open and settled and expansive. Um, I'm much more grounded in my energy with him, so like I don't bicker with him like I used to, and I don't feel like there's especially in a marriage, there's often this subtle, like, you don't even see it until you see it, like this need, and then a forcing of energy, and then a
Mhm.
demanding of energy, and then a forcing of energy. And that's I don't do that anymore. And he's I have not proclaimed it to him, but he's feeling it because he's shifting also.
Mhm.
um and
Yeah.
just all my relationships. I mean, it's just like I think like what you bring to a spousal relationship, you also bring to your other relationships to a more subtle level. But I don't have relationships with ladies where I have that whole need and then push and then need and then
Mhm.
push, like it's like a almost like a manipulation. I definitely had a manipulative energy in the past, because of a feeling of lack, and I don't have that anymore. Or maybe it's more subtle and I'm aware of it, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I love this. Just on a side note, so um, I'm running this program, a free program actually, Own Your Zone. Did you listen to yesterday's transmission?
I did not know, because I've
Oh.
been so focused at work, and I had to
No,
let
it's okay.
in
It's just
managing
I'm
my
like
energy,
the
I
things
had
that
to
you're
let
saying,
something
I'm like,
go.
did she just listen to what I just said yesterday?
No, no, but I will.
Because I feel like yes, you definitely did. So I'm getting in your head, sending you the vibes now. That intuitive. Okay, well, thank you for all of this. Yeah, I know for me, I've really enjoyed working with you as well and just seeing that growth journey. And I think sometimes, even for me, and part of why I do these interviews with people is because I think it's so easy to get hyper focused on the because yes, I see big wins. It's like, oh, I have this client that made this much money or did this big thing. But, I was talking to another client yesterday and talking about like what are the things that, have really changed in her life. And it was like, I get to actually focus on my kids. I get to have this life, and like you said, it's improved my relationship with my husband. It's deepened my work, and it's more than just that big result. So I really like hearing, not just what did you achieve in your business, but how is it impacting life? Because I think you're right. It's the work that we do on ourselves here and for our business, our personal development journey. It's the same work that we do for our relationships. It's the same work that comes into play when it comes to money, and receiving money. So it's all related. It's all related. Which whew, I won't say it because we're recording yet, but I have something big coming around that topic. So yeah,
Okay,
very exciting.
I'm intrigued.
I really just appreciate being in your world and you allowing me to be part of this journey and being here with you. And I'm looking forward to what is coming next. Because yeah, you've peeled back a lot of layers, and it's just been a beautiful journey. So very proud of you.
Thank you. For me as
Congratulations.
well. It's been a real pleasure.
So.
Thank you for guiding me through it.
You are most welcome, and it's just the beginning, just the beginning. So thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording,
Okay.
and thank you for everybody who is listening to us.